Hey everybody, meteorologist Danielle Noyes here with Matt Noyes for our weekly photo segment and Q&A. Why are you laughing at me?
I always love that your voice gets louder for this segment, and Danielle's voice gets louder when she's excited. So you're excited about the segment.
I'm really excited about this segment.
Now you're doing the sexy voice thing. You're going all quiet on me here.
I'm very excited.
That's right. All right. Very good. Let's go ahead and transition over to our full screen so we can take a look at your photos. Danielle, the first one, the brush fires that continue to burn.
They continue to burn, and Darlene grabbed this shot of the brush fire in Middleton Pond, Massachusetts, of the smoke rising there.
Yeah, whenever we get the wind out of the south, the warmer air, you can smell that all the way up through the Merrimack Valley, the North Shore. It's been sitting around the North Shore for a while. And when we get the smoke that fills the air, we update you at livestream.onedegreeoutside.com. We always send a little notification if we start that. What's this, Danielle?
Drought Monitor gets updated every Thursday, so wanted to bring it to you. And no surprise here that the moderate to severe drought conditions are expanding across New England, particularly in Massachusetts, where that severe drought, the orange shading there, has expanded pretty far westward now into portions of central Massachusetts, and then extends, of course, into the Boston area. That was the case last week, too.
No drought-busting rain on the way, but happy November 1st, said Christine Perry Delaney. And, of course, we're recording this now on the 7th, but we'll do a week's worth of pictures. Lovely shot, don't you think?
Fall sky in Mendon, Massachusetts. Beautiful. The cloud texture and the beautiful colors out there in the sky as well.
Meanwhile, to the water we go as the season wanes. You know, there was a time that we would call this warm weather that comes in after the first frost and freeze, Indian summer. That term not really used any longer, but I'll let you know coming up in the Q&A segment what you can use for a term instead.
Jeff said the sun rises over the marshes of the south coast. One last vestige of summer hangs on in the west branch of the Westport River down in Massachusetts along the south coast.
Very good. This one, the drone shot of the early light, the sunrise shot out of Exeter. Dennis likes these drone shots, and so do I.
I do too. I love it. You can see everything from high in the sky there, including the great color and texture to the clouds. Beautiful shot. Lake Winnipesaukee, this one, of course, when we get the warmth that comes in, we get a whip and wind sometimes too. John says very unusual on the big lake to have those breakers.
And this was with the cold front that came by, shifted the wind to the northwest, and so a lot of times when you get to Lake Winnipesaukee, Squam Lake, when you get in around Newfound, and you get those northwest winds, they create the chop, and that was exactly what was going on here with another push of that cool seasonal air that was coming in.
Oh, I love this sunset shot, grabbed by Cheryl on Plum Island. Beautiful there. Of the beach in Plum Island, a great scene.
All right. Meanwhile, if you'd like to buy some of the swag, you certainly could do that. You can get that at onedegreeoutside.com, swag.onedegreeoutside.com.
Speaking of Cheryl's,
yep.
I have a question for you from a different Cheryl.
All right, this is the Q&A segment.
Yeah, so this was Cheryl Ranta. She said, I hope you can find some cold air. I really love the fall weather, and we have had none of it. Well,
yeah.
None of it, but it's just been so mild. The past 3 weeks we've had record-breaking warmth and record November record smash. So.
All right, so, this is something that we cover in our pattern predictions video, so please do make sure if you haven't watched it yet, Cheryl, and everybody else who's wondering, that you watch pattern predictions. Is posted at onedegreeoutside.com. We post it every Monday, so there'll be a new one on Monday that comes out. But basically what we do is we look at the jet stream, we look at where the cold is. So we've been looking lately up in Alaska because the cold was in Siberia, over in Russia. It shifted over to Alaska, and then basically we're waiting to see whether that dislodges. But over the next week and a half, 2 weeks, it doesn't look like it's going to. But again, we'll keep you posted on that. We actually show you the map with that as well.
And even though that deep chunk doesn't get dislodged, it does feel more fall-like, Cheryl, by the time we get to this weekend and next week, just in terms of not feeling like, 70s and 80s like we've had. It's just not an extended or serious, below average stretch.
When you get this feeling of Goose Summer.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah. I told you I was going to tell you the new term.
I didn't know that.
So this new term's an old term. Goose Summer comes back from England, believe it or not.
You're the king of these old
terms. This is it.
Okay.
And do you know how it comes to be?
No, how?
Gossamer. Do you know what gossamer is? Gossamer is a very kind of silky type of fibrous material, which actually is what spiders spin their web from. So what happens is when you get these warm days and these warm winds that are blowing at this time of the year, spiders have hatched. And so the baby spiders go up and they send their gossamer up into the sky, and they sail and they fly. And sometimes they drop in your yard. You will wake up sometimes in the morning and see spider webs on the front yard and not know where they came from. They're not local spiders. They came flying in. So anyway, because this is the time of year that tends to happen, that gossamer goes flying, became known as Goose Summer. You could also try and say that it has to do with the migration of geese, I suppose, but really it came from gossamer and goose summer, and it began in England, and now it is. It would actually was what we used to call it back in colonial times here in America.
Learn something new every day.
That's what I'm here for.
It's also making me think of Charlotte's Web now.
Oh, yes, of course. Absolutely.
Little spider webs. I have another question for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So Sue says, and this is one I wanted to mention because several people have had the question. How do I sign in to show that I'm not a bot? There seems to be no sign in button. That's happened to us too.
If you've had this happen where you go to watch our videos, and hopefully, well, if you're seeing this one, it didn't happen to you this time, and it says sign in to prove you're not a bot, has nothing to do with us. That's a YouTube, Google thing, YouTube in particular. And generally it means that somebody probably with an IP address similar to yours has spammed the YouTube server. So what they do is instead of just blocking one IP address, they block a whole bunch of IP addresses. Usually in the course of 3-4 days, it'll free up. In the interim, we try to make sure that we embed natively at least 1 or 2 videos every day into our app. So if you have Noyes' 1 Degree Outside app, usually we've got at least one a day that doesn't link to a YouTube link, that actually is just natively there in the app for you.
That was very technical.
Well, it's very true. Yeah, it's blame spammers again.
I know.
You know?
I know. So that's the way around it.
Yep.
There. Now you know.
That's it. That's right. Thanks, everybody, for stopping in. We love seeing you, absolutely. And we love that you love this segment. Keep your photos coming in. Send to us, tab of the app.
Yep.
Community gallery of onedegreeoutside.com.
You can email them to us, too. Contact@onedegreeoutside.com.
Awesome. See you soon.